Miranda doted on her son. Nathan was a late child. He came into the world when his parents no longer hoped for such happiness. Miranda gave her whole soul, all her strength to her baby, every moment, every minute of her life. The woman was worried whether her son was warmly dressed or not, or how he would not get into trouble on his way back from school. In addition, Nathan was often sick, and Miranda a lot of times spent at the bedside of her sick son. Her husband, Paul, initially paid no attention to his wife's excessive care of their son and even scoffed at her. But with each passing year, he was less and less eager to return home after work, where was a real cult of the son. Miranda practically stopped paying attention to her husband, caring only about Nathan. In the end, Paul could not stand the constant competition with his own son for his wife's attention and left her for another woman, leaving an apartment for his wife and son. Miranda endured the divorce with Paul. She was more concerned about how their son would feel about it. She told Nathan that his father still loved him, but Paul never visited his son again and never took interest in his progress, because he had another family and other children. Although Nathan was spoiled by his mother, he grew up to be an intelligent and kind boy. A year after his parents divorced, he insisted on joining a martial arts class. Miranda was very worried, but fortunately, sport helped to improve his health, and Nathan stopped being sick often and became much stronger and more enduring. When the boy finished school successfully, he decided to go into the army, contrary to his mother's wish that he should go to college to study further. Miranda's worries were boundless. The woman nearly went gray when she found out that her son was being sent to serve on the border, where there was a difficult situation. During his first year in the army, she grew 10 years older. One day, a bell rang in Miranda's apartment, and the officer's stern voice told her that her son had performed a heroic deed but had been seriously wounded, and now was being taken to the hospital. Miranda immediately rushed there. Nathan's life was not in danger, but treatment was required for a long time. His mother practically moved into the hospital and did not leave her son's bedside. She spoon-fed him and performed all necessary procedures. At last, Nathan was discharged home. After he was wounded, he was awarded a Medal of Bravery, discharged, and received a pension. With such a biography, Nathan easily entered the college and finished it successfully. With a good education, the man got a job in his field and began to earn good money. After a while, Nathan met a girl, Laura. Miranda liked her son's girlfriend because she was beautiful and modest. Soon the young couple got married, and Miranda immediately insisted that the newlyweds live with her and not spend on rent, but save for their own house. They all lived amicably. Miranda took care of the house, cooked breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. Soon Laura and Nathan had a son who was named Raphael. The grandmother took over almost entirely the upbringing of her grandson. They even put a crib in her room. Over time, Laura began to tell her husband more and more often that his mother was overprotecting her grandson. And when Raphael went to school, Laura's irritation at her mother-in-law's actions turned into hatred. Tension in the family was growing every day. Only Miranda did not notice anything, giving herself with all her passion to the care of her son and grandson. By this time, she had become very old and often ill, but she held on. Eventually, Laura's irritation reached a boiling point, and she suggested that her husband send his mother to a nursing home. Nathan did not like the idea, but Laura did the trick. She gradually began to convince her husband that his mother would be better in a nursing home. No worries, a good care. In addition, there is always a medical staff. As people say, drops of water can pierce rocks. Little by little, Nathan began to like the idea of a nursing home, and one day he finally decided to have a talk with his mother. He told her that there was a very good retirement home with excellent conditions, and that Laura had already made all the arrangements. Miranda, of course, was upset, but told her son that she would do as he decided. When his mother's things were packed, Nathan took the suitcase and carried it to the car. Miranda gave her son a sad look and suddenly noticed that he had forgotten his jacket again, just like in his childhood. The elderly woman took the jacket off the hanger and, taking it with her, left the house. The nursing home was on the outskirts of the city, so it took them more than an hour to get there. All the way there, mother and son were silent. When they arrived at the place, Nathan silently took his mother's things out of the car trunk and carried them to the entrance. Suddenly, Miranda called out to her son. She said that it was starting to rain and thoughtfully handed her grown boy a jacket. Suddenly, something clicked in Nathan's head. One by one, as if in a dream, images from the past floated before his eyes. There he is, very young, sitting in his mother's arms. His father is standing next to him, telling his wife that she's only interested in her son, and then he turns around and walks out of their life, slamming the door loudly. Or here's Nathan walking to school wearing only a shirt, and it starts to rain. It's getting cold, but his mother is already running to him, with his jacket in her hands. Or here's Nathan wounded, lying in the hospital, and his mother sits next to him and feeds him from a spoon. The man suddenly realized how mean he was going to be, and that all instead of thanking his mother for the sleepless nights she spent at his bedside. And that's what a man awarded a Medal of Valor was going to do. What a shame. While all these thoughts were racing through his head, his mother walked over to him and threw the jacket she had brought from home over his shoulders. The man hugged his mother and apologized. He promised that he would never speak of the nursing home again, that he would take care of her himself, because even so he might not repay her for everything she had done for him. Then he took his mother by the hand and led her back to the car. When Laura saw that her husband had returned with her hated mother-in-law, she could not hold back and threw a tantrum. But Nathan firmly told her that his mother would live with them. So Laura said that she was leaving and taking her son with her. The woman rushed around the house in a frenzy and gathered her and her son's things. Suddenly, a frightened Raphael came into the room. The boy began to ask his parents to reconcile, but Laura only shouted offensive words to her husband and mother-in-law, not thinking about the feelings of the child. The father sat down next to his son and said, "Son, you are a big boy, and sometimes adults don't understand each other. Your mother and I are going to live separately for a while. Maybe we will never be together again. You can choose who you want to stay with. If you want, go with your mother, and if not, stay with me and Grandma. In any case, I will never leave you, and I will always love you and help you, because you are my son." Raphael looked maturely at his father and mother, tensely waiting for his answer. "You know, Dad, I'm going with Mom. You choose your mother, too, and I understand that she needs help, but don't you and Grandma worry. I'll come and visit you often. You're a real man, son, and I'm proud of you." Nathan petted his son and gave him a big hug. That's the story, which isn't over yet. Perhaps after some time, when the passion and anger subside, Nathan and Laura will be able to understand each other's motives and find a compromise. Or maybe it will never happen. But this is life, and we're not perfect. Tell me please in the comments what you think about this situation. I'll say goodbye to you at this point and see you later.